In this special video, I will show you 11 types of people we should not help. You will be surprised by the last one, but before we start, I want you to pay close attention to this story as it will be very important for you to understand the great lesson of this video. Once upon a time, there was a farmer named Joe who lived in a small village. Joe was known for his kindness and was always willing to help others. One day, he found a snake trapped in a snare in his field. Although it was dangerous, Joe felt compassion for the snake and decided to set it free. Joe took care of the snake, feeding it and giving it a safe place to recover. However, as soon as the snake felt better, it bit Joe and slithered away. Joe, hurt and surprised, realized that the snake's nature was to bite no matter how much help it received. This story teaches us that some people, like the snake, do not change their nature. Sometimes, in our desire to help, we can ignore the signs and end up getting hurt. It is crucial to know who we help and understand that not everyone will value or appreciate our efforts. Imagine your energy is like a battery. Some people recharge it, while others drain it faster than a phone with 100 apps open. Sound familiar? Well, let's explore these energy vampires and why it is crucial to recognize them. Before diving into the first type of person, if you find value in these videos, please subscribe and click the bell to stay updated. Let's begin. Number 1. The ingrates. Have you ever met someone who seems to have a black hole instead of a heart? These people, no matter how much you give them, always want more and are never satisfied. Imagine you are at a restaurant enjoying a delicious dinner with friends. Suddenly, you hear someone loudly complaining about the food, the service, even the color of the napkins. Yes, you guessed it, it's the professional ingrate in action. But why do some people seem perpetually dissatisfied? According to a study by the University of California, people with low self-esteem tend to be less grateful. It's like they have a filter that only lets the negative pass through, blocking all the good that life offers them. Now, we're not saying you should cut ties with everyone who forgets to say thank you, but it's important to recognize when someone is constantly abusing your kindness. As the famous businessman Richard Branson once said, treat your employees as you want them to treat your best customers. We could extend this advice to all our relationships. Think of gratitude as a plant. It needs to be watered and cared for to grow. If you are constantly giving water, your time, energy, resources to a plant that never blooms, perhaps it's time to ask yourself if you're cultivating in the wrong garden. But be careful not to confuse ingratitude with constructive honesty. Your friend who tells you that you have spinach in your teeth before an important date isn't an ingrate, they're a hero without a cape. The difference lies in the intention and the pattern of behavior. A fascinating study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology revealed that people are not only happier, but also have stronger and more enduring relationships. It's as if gratitude is the invisible glue that holds our social connections together. Now then, what do we do with these people? The answer is not simple, but we can take some lessons from positive psychology. Martin Seligman, considered the father of this branch of psychology, suggests that cultivating gratitude benefits not only the receiver, but also the giver. So, instead of getting frustrated with ingrates, we might see them as an opportunity to strengthen our own ability to appreciate the good in life. It's like going to the gym, but for our gratitude muscle. However, let's not confuse being grateful with being a bottomless pit. Setting healthy boundaries is as important as being generous. As the writer Brené Brown once said, generosity is not infinite, and it isn't true generosity if it comes from resentment. Remember, their lack of gratitude says more about them than it does about you. As the psychologist Carl Rogers once said, the curious paradox is that when I accept myself just as I am, then I can change. So the next time you encounter an ingrate, take a deep breath, remember your own worth, and ask yourself, does this person deserve my energy? If the answer is no, it's okay to take a step back. You are not being selfish, you're practicing self-care. And if you decide to continue helping, do it because you genuinely want to, not because you expect recognition. As the philosopher Immanuel Kant said, act in such a way that you use humanity, both in your person and in the person of any other, always at the same time as an end, never merely as a means. Number 2, the lazy. Have you ever met someone who seems to have an allergy to effort? Those people who always have an excuse for not doing anything, as if the couch were their natural habitat and the remote control an extension of their hand. Welcome to the fascinating world of the lazy, those masters of the art of doing nothing who teach us valuable lessons about productivity or the lack thereof. Imagine you are in a work meeting and you hear someone say, "I couldn't finish the report because my cat ate my motivation." Yes, you've guessed it, it's the professional lazy person in action. But why do some people seem to have a PhD in procrastination? According to a study by the University of Calgary, laziness might actually be an evolutionary strategy to conserve energy. It's as if our caveman ancestors bequeathed us the energy-saving or battery-saving mode gene. But in today's world, where we don't need to save energy to escape predators, this strategy can become counterproductive. The psychologist William James once said, "Nothing is so fatiguing as the eternal hanging on of an incomplete task," and he was right. Procrastination not only affects our productivity, but also our mental health. A study published in the Journal of Psychological Science found that people who procrastinate regularly have higher levels of stress and worse health overall. But all is not lost for our lazy friends. As the famous physicist Albert Einstein once said, laziness is the mother of all inventions. And while he probably said it while looking for an excuse not to comb his hair, he has a point. Sometimes the need to avoid work can lead to creative and innovative solutions. Now then, how do we identify a chronic lazy person? Here are some warning signs. 1. The king of excuses. These individuals have more excuses than a cat has lives. "I couldn't exercise because my plant needed me to sing to it to grow" is just the tip of the iceberg. 2. The expert in "I'll do it tomorrow" for them. Tomorrow is a magical place where all pending work accumulates. Spoiler alert, that tomorrow never comes. 3. The multitasker of leisure. They can watch Netflix, scroll through Instagram, and complain about their work all at the same time. If they put that energy into being productive, they probably would have solved global warming by now. 4. The shortcut seeker, always looking for the easiest way to do things. If there were an app to breathe for you, they would be the first to download it. 5. The 5 more minutes person, for them, the alarm clock is just a friendly suggestion. Just 5 more minutes, they say, and before they know it, an hour has passed. We're not saying you should cut ties with everyone who prefers a nap over a gym session, but remember, surrounding ourselves with lazy people risks turning us into the sore thumb in a hand of slackers. As Jim Rohn, entrepreneur and motivational author, said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." So choose your company wisely, because you might end up being the only tooth in a mouthful of motivational cavities. Number 3. The irresponsible. Have you ever met someone who seems to live in a world without consequences? Welcome to the fascinating universe of the irresponsible, those experts in dodging commitments and blaming everything and everyone but themselves. Imagine you are on a boat and suddenly you notice there's a hole in the hull and water is starting to pour in. While you and the rest of the crew are desperately trying to plug the hole and bail out the water, you see someone sitting calmly on the deck, sunbathing, and saying, "It's not my problem. I didn't make the hole." That, my friends, is the irresponsible in their natural habitat. When we try to help someone with this behavior pattern, we often find ourselves in a frustrating cycle. No matter how hard we try to support them, our help rarely results in significant progress. The irresponsible avoid responsibilities and have an almost Olympic ability to blame others for their own failures. If something goes wrong, even if it is completely unrelated to our intervention, we can end up being pointed out as the culprits. This is not only unfair, but can also take a significant emotional and reputational toll on those trying to help. Therefore, it is essential to adopt a careful approach when dealing with people who behave this way. An effective strategy is to invite them to reflect on their actions and the consequences they entail. Instead of solving their problems for them, we can guide them to develop self-evaluation and self-management skills. Neuroscientist Richard Davidson has shown that the brain is incredibly plastic, capable of changing and adapting even in adulthood. So there is hope, although they may need a nudge or perhaps a push the size of an elephant. As Nelson Mandela once said, education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world. In this context, education includes not only academic knowledge, but also the ability to assume responsibilities and learn from mistakes. Number 4 are the manipulators. Have you ever met someone who seems to have an uncanny ability to twist situations to their advantage? These people, known as manipulators, are experts at playing mind games and using others to get what they want. They often disguise their intentions under the guise of friendliness or concern, but their true motive is self-serving. Manipulators can be incredibly charming and persuasive, making it difficult to see their true nature. They may flatter you, offer seemingly sincere compliments, and make you feel special, all while subtly steering you toward actions that benefit them. This deceptive behavior can create a web of confusion and mistrust, leaving you questioning your own perceptions and decisions. According to Dr. George Simon, a clinical psychologist and expert on manipulation, these individuals often employ tactics such as guilt-tripping, shaming, and playing the victim to control and influence others. Their goal is to maintain power and control over situations and people, often at the expense of others' well-being. When dealing with manipulators, it is crucial to set clear boundaries and remain vigilant. Recognize the signs of manipulation and trust your instincts. If something feels off or too good to be true, it probably is. Protect your emotional and mental health by distancing yourself from individuals who consistently exhibit manipulative behaviors. Number 5, the perpetual critics. These individuals have a knack for finding faults in every situation or person. They constantly criticize everything around them, from your choice of clothing to your career decisions, leaving you feeling undermined and unappreciated. Perpetual critics thrive on pointing out flaws and shortcomings, often projecting their own insecurities and dissatisfaction onto others. Living or working with a perpetual critic can be exhausting and damaging to your self-esteem. Their relentless negativity can erode your confidence and create a toxic environment where nothing you do seems good enough. It's important to remember that their criticism often says more about them than it does about you. They may use criticism as a way to exert control, feel superior, or deflect attention from their own issues. Dealing with perpetual critics requires maintaining a strong sense of self-worth and resilience. Practice self-affirmation and focus on your strengths and achievements. Setting boundaries is also essential. Limit your exposure to their negativity and do not internalize their criticisms. When possible, redirect conversations to positive or neutral topics and avoid engaging in their critical narratives. Recognize that constructive criticism can be valuable for personal growth, but constant negative feedback is detrimental. By identifying and distancing yourself from perpetual critics, you can protect your mental and emotional well-being and foster a more positive and supportive environment. Number 6, the narcissists. These individuals are characterized by their excessive self-love and a grandiose sense of their own importance. Narcissists crave constant admiration and validation, often at the expense of others. They have an inflated sense of their own abilities and achievements and believe they are superior to others. This self-centeredness makes it challenging to maintain a balanced relationship with them, as they are primarily focused on their own needs and desires. Interacting with a narcissist can be draining because they tend to dominate conversations, manipulate situations to their advantage, and lack genuine empathy. They may initially charm and impress with their confidence and charisma, but over time, their need for admiration can become overwhelming and suffocating. Narcissists are skilled at shifting blame and avoiding responsibility for their actions, making it difficult to address issues or hold them accountable. To manage relationships with narcissists, it is crucial to set clear boundaries and protect your own emotional health. Do not expect them to change or develop empathy, as their behavior is deeply ingrained. Instead, focus on your own well-being and limit the extent to which you invest in the relationship. Practice self-care and seek support from trusted friends or professionals if needed. Remember, helping a narcissist often means enabling their self-centered behavior. Instead, prioritize relationships that are mutually respectful and supportive. By recognizing and distancing yourself from narcissists, you can avoid the emotional toll they can inflict and cultivate healthier, more fulfilling connections. Number 7. The opportunists. Opportunists are individuals who take advantage of situations and people for their own benefit, often with little regard for fairness or reciprocity. They are quick to exploit any chance that comes their way, prioritizing their own gain over the well-being of others. Opportunists may initially appear charming and helpful, but their underlying motive is to benefit from the generosity or resources of those around them without offering anything in return. Dealing with opportunists can be particularly challenging because they are often skilled at hiding their true intentions behind a facade of friendliness and cooperation. They may use flattery, manipulation, and false promises to gain your trust and extract what they need. Once they have achieved their goal, they are likely to disappear or become unresponsive, leaving you feeling used and betrayed. To protect yourself from opportunists, it is essential to establish clear boundaries and be cautious with your trust. Look for patterns of behavior that indicate a lack of reciprocity, such as consistently taking without giving back or disappearing when it is time to contribute. Be wary of those who seem overly eager to help or get involved in your affairs without a genuine interest in building a mutual relationship. When you identify an opportunist, it is important to address the situation directly and assertively. Communicate your expectations clearly and do not hesitate to enforce your boundaries. It may also be necessary to distance yourself from the opportunist if they continue to exploit your kindness. By doing so, you can protect your energy and resources, ensuring they are directed towards relationships that are equitable and respectful. Remember, genuine relationships are built on mutual respect, trust, and reciprocity. By recognizing and avoiding opportunists, you can create a more positive and supportive environment for yourself and those who truly value your presence. Number 8. The envious. The envious are individuals who harbor resentment and jealousy towards others' successes, possessions, or qualities. Their envy can manifest in various ways, such as belittling others' achievements, spreading rumors, or attempting to undermine those they envy. This type of person finds it difficult to celebrate others' happiness and accomplishments, often feeling a sense of injustice or inadequacy. Dealing with envious people can be emotionally draining and disheartening. They might disguise their envy as concern or constructive criticism, making it challenging to identify their true intentions. Envious individuals can create a toxic environment, affecting your self-esteem and overall well-being. To handle envious people effectively, it is crucial to maintain a sense of self-awareness and confidence in your abilities and achievements. Recognize that their envy is a reflection of their insecurities and not a measure of your worth. Avoid engaging in confrontations or trying to prove yourself to them, as this can escalate the situation. Instead, set firm boundaries and limit your interactions with those who consistently display envious behavior. Surround yourself with supportive and positive individuals who genuinely celebrate your successes and encourage your growth. By focusing on your goals and maintaining a positive mindset, you can mitigate the negative impact of envious people on your life. Additionally, practicing empathy and understanding can help you deal with envious individuals more compassionately. Acknowledge their feelings without letting them affect your self-worth, and if appropriate, offer support or guidance to help them overcome their insecurities. However, remember that it is not your responsibility to fix their issues, and protecting your well-being should always be your priority. In summary, while it is natural to encounter envious people, it is essential to recognize their behavior and take proactive steps to protect yourself. By maintaining confidence in your achievements and surrounding yourself with positive influences, you can navigate the challenges posed by envy and continue to thrive. Number 9. The manipulative. The manipulative are skilled in using subtle tactics to control or influence others for their own gain. They often employ deceit, charm, or guilt-tripping to achieve their objectives without considering the well-being or interests of those around them. These individuals may appear friendly and trustworthy initially, but gradually reveal their true intentions as they exploit others' vulnerabilities. Dealing with manipulative people requires vigilance and assertiveness. Recognize the signs of manipulation, such as inconsistent behavior, selective honesty, or making you feel guilty or obligated. Establish clear boundaries and refuse to be swayed by their tactics, maintaining a firm stance on what you are willing to tolerate. Avoid engaging in arguments or trying to outmaneuver them, as this can fuel their manipulative behavior. Instead, communicate assertively and assert your needs and boundaries clearly. By staying true to yourself and refusing to be manipulated, you can protect your emotional well-being and maintain healthy relationships based on mutual respect and trust. Remember, it is not your responsibility to cater to the manipulative person's demands or fulfill their expectations at the expense of your own happiness. Focus on fostering relationships with individuals who value your authenticity and support your personal growth. By prioritizing your well-being and asserting your boundaries, you can effectively navigate interactions with manipulative individuals and maintain a positive outlook on life. Number 10. The energy vampire. Energy vampires are individuals who drain your energy and positivity, leaving you emotionally exhausted after interacting with them. They thrive on negativity, complaining, and drama, often making every interaction feel emotionally draining and one-sided. These individuals may not always be aware of their impact, but their constant need for attention or validation can leave you feeling depleted. Identifying an energy vampire involves recognizing patterns of behavior such as constant complaining, excessive negativity, or consistently seeking attention without reciprocating support. They may monopolize conversations with their problems or create drama to draw others' attention. Dealing with energy vampires requires setting clear boundaries and prioritizing self-care. Limit your exposure to these individuals and maintain a positive mindset by focusing on activities and relationships that recharge you. Practice assertiveness by redirecting conversations towards positive topics or gently but firmly disengaging when their behavior becomes draining. It's essential to protect your emotional well-being by surrounding yourself with supportive and uplifting individuals who contribute positively to your life. By managing your interactions with energy vampires and prioritizing your own needs, you can maintain a healthier and more balanced approach to relationships and personal well-being. Number 11. The chronic victim. Chronic victims constantly portray themselves as helpless and oppressed, blaming external circumstances or others for their misfortunes. They often seek sympathy and support, but rarely take responsibility for improving their situation or making proactive changes. Engaging with chronic victims can feel emotionally exhausting as they perpetuate a cycle of negativity and helplessness. Identifying chronic victims involves noticing patterns of self-pity, constant complaining without seeking solutions, and portraying themselves as victims in various situations. They may use their hardships as a shield against personal accountability or to manipulate sympathy from others. Dealing with chronic victims requires empathy balanced with firm boundaries. Offer support and understanding, but encourage them to take responsibility for their actions and seek constructive solutions. Redirect conversations towards empowerment and solutions rather than dwelling on problems. It's crucial to maintain your emotional boundaries and avoid being drawn into their cycle of negativity. Encourage them to seek professional help if needed, but prioritize your own mental well-being by limiting exposure to their draining behavior. Understanding these types of people helps in navigating relationships more effectively and maintaining a positive and healthy mindset. In conclusion, while it's natural to feel compassion and a desire to help others, it's equally important to recognize when such help might not be productive or beneficial. Each of these types of people presents unique challenges that can drain our energy, undermine our boundaries, or even harm us emotionally and mentally. By understanding these dynamics, we can make more informed choices about where to invest our time, energy, and compassion. Remember, setting boundaries is not selfish, it's essential for maintaining your well-being and fostering healthier relationships. Sometimes, the best way to help someone is by empowering them to help themselves or by redirecting them to professional assistance. Thank you for watching and learning with us. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell for more content on personal growth and Stoic wisdom. And as always, comment below to share your thoughts and experiences. Let's continue learning and growing together.